In other news, a senior investigator in the Office of the Public Protector, Bianca Mvuyana, has been testifying before the parliamentary inquiry that's looking into Busisiwe Mkhwebane's fitness to hold office. Mvuyana, who was being cross-examined by the Public Protector's legal counsel, Advocate Dalimpofu, responded to several allegations involving the so-called SARS rogue unit and Minister Pravin Gordhan, among other issues. Watching that story for us is Newzroom Afrika reporter Athi Mtongana, who joins us live from Cape Town. Athi, sum up how the day has gone.
Well, Temekile, today Bianca Mvuyana, who is a senior investigator in the Office of the Public Protector, was largely involved in many of the investigations that have now landed before the Section 194 inquiry. In fact, Advocate Dalimpofu, leading the Public Protector's legal counsel, has often brought the argument before the committee that they should not entirely focus on the adverse findings, particularly from the courts, in relation to the reports that were taken on review in court, of course, reports that stem from the Office of the Public Protector. And so much of the discussions today, or the questioning, if you may, was around the investigations that were conducted in the Office of the Public Protector in relation to the so-called SARS rogue unit, some of the equipment that was used there, the memo that was sent, that was allegedly sent, and we've seen actually in a projector in the inquiry, a letter that was sent by Pravin Gordhan to the then Minister Trevor Manuel, giving him a memo detailing the launch of this unit and the equipment that would be needed and the personnel that would be needed. And Bianca Mvuyana is basically testifying that proper procurement processes were not followed. But I'd like us to listen to what she had to say when she was questioned about the relevance of Pravin Gordhan before this committee, which is something that Advocate Dalimpofu has been advocating for a long time, saying that he, among other people, including President Cyril Ramaphosa, should actually come before the inquiry to respond and substantiate some of the claims that they've made in relation to Advocate Busisiwe Mkhwebane.
Who is the original source of the allegations of conspiracy?
Mr. Gordhan.
Thank you. And therefore, if we are here to inquire into those allegations which originated from Mr. Gordhan, is it possible or conceivable or logical that Mr. Gordhan can be said to be irrelevant to the inquiry into his own allegations?
No. He made the allegation, so we should support his allegations.
Right. Thank you. Anyway, that is unfortunately the view of this committee, is that somebody like that, who's the real origin of these charges, is quote-unquote irrelevant. But that's a story for another day.
There were particular individuals who were subject to the investigation, of course, at the top being the Minister, Mr. Pravin Gordhan, at the time was the Commissioner at SARS, and also Mr. Pillay, as well as Magashule. Now, the other individual that was often cited and spoken about is Mr. van Loggerenberg. You will recall him. He was also part of the witness list, and that actually came to appear before the committee. And so I'd like us to listen to what was said in relation to his role in the so-called SARS rogue unit.
Hence, I required more information from the complainant, and I said to him, I will respect the fact that you'd like to remain anonymous, but the kind of allegations you have made need more information, specifically in relation to the surveillance. The complainant was alleging surveillance of politicians and etc. So, and then the second allegation was that Mr. van Loggerenberg had then received personal monies into his bank account, and he listed the monies. The third allegation, I believe, was about Mr. Gordhan receiving monies in the United States or Canada, if I remember correctly. We then sent the complainant an email requesting that kind of interaction. He did not respond until we then received Mr. Shivambu's complaint.